about addition. Okay. Example 1. Add the following rational numbers. Number 1, 5 over 8 plus 3 over 8. Here I have the same denominator, so I will respect my denominator and add the numerators. 5 plus 3 will be 8. The answer will be 8 over 8 equal 1. Okay. Example 2. If I have negative 3 over 10 plus negative 2 over 5. Here I must merge the sign. Plus and minus. Plus and minus will be minus. So note that if I have two signs, plus and then minus, I will merge them to give me minus. If I have two signs, minus then plus, I will merge them to give me minus. If I have two signs, minus and minus, I will merge them to give me plus. Here I will merge plus and minus will give me minus. The answer will be negative 3 over 10 minus 2 over 5. Here I have different denominator, so I must make the denominators the same. How? I will multiply 10 by 5 to get the new denominator. I will multiply the denominators to get common denominator. 10 times 5 will be 50, and then make crisscross. 5 times 3, it will be negative 15. 5 times negative 3 will be negative 15, and then 10 times 2 will be 20. Here I have a problem with common denominator. Now I will respect my denominator 50, and negative 15 minus 20. Negative 15 minus 20 will be negative 35. By simplifying this rational number, the answer will be negative 7 over 10. Another example. If I have 1 over 4 plus 25 over 8. Here the denominators are not the same. I must find the common denominator. I can't add two rational numbers if the denominators are not the same. So I must find the common denominator by multiplying 4 by 8. 4 times 8 equals 32. And then make crisscross. Okay. 8 times 1 will be 8. 4 times 25 will be 10. Okay. And then respect my denominator 32 and add 8 plus 10 plus 100, it will be 108. By simplifying this rational number, the answer will be 27 over 8. The last one, I have negative 2 over 3 minus negative 4 over 5. Here look, I have minus then negative. Minus then negative, I will merge them to give me a plus. If I see these two signs, minus then negative, I will merge this sign to give me plus. The answer will be negative 2 over 3 plus 4 over 5. Negative 2 over 3 plus 4 over 5. Now I have different denominator. I must get what? The common denominator. By multiply 3 times 5 will be 15. And then 4 times negative 2 will be negative 10. And then 3 times 4 will be 12. Here, the answer will be negative 10 over 15 plus 12 over 15. Now I have the same denominator, so I will respect my denominator and write 15 and then add negative 10 plus 12. Negative 10 plus 12 on the calculator will be 2. The answer will be 2 over 15. Number 2, properties of addition. What are the properties of addition? Number 1, commutative property. What is the meaning of commutative property? The commutative property means that if I have two rational numbers added to each other, like 7 over 2 plus 9 over 16, I can replace the places of them. Okay, I can change the places. I can write first 9 over 16 plus 7 over 2, and the answer will be the same. If I add 7 over 2 plus 9 over 16, it will give me the same answer if I write first 9 over 16 plus 7 over 2. If I change the places, the property is commutative. Number 2, associative property. Associative property. I can use the associative property if I have more than 2 rational numbers added to each other. If I have 3 rational numbers added to each other or more. For example, if I have 2 over 3 plus negative 1 over 3 plus negative 1 over 6, I can take 2 over 3 and negative 1 over 3 together in a bracket and add to each other. Then add the answer to negative 1 over 6. And I can also write 2 over 3 first, plus, and put in the bracket the 2 others rational number and add them to each other. It will give me the same answer. Okay, this name called associative property. Associative property. The third property is most important. Additive identity. Additive identity or additive neutral element. And what is the additive neutral element of a rational number? Okay, this is an exam question in the complete. Okay, complete. Dots is the additive neutral element or the additive identity of a rational number. 0. Why 0? So 0 is the additive neutral element of a rational number. Why? If I add the rational number to 0, the answer will be the same rational number. For example, if I add 5 over 8 plus 0, the answer will be 5 over 8. So 0 is the additive identity or the additive neutral element. Number 4, or the fourth property, is additive inverse property. Additive inverse property. Let's see what's the meaning of inverse or additive inverse. Additive inverse means switch the sign. Write the same number and switch the sign from negative to positive or from positive to negative. For example, if I have 0, the additive inverse will be 0. Why? Because 0 is non-positive, non-negative number. For example, if I have half 1 over 2, the additive inverse, I will write the same number and switch the sign or change the sign from positive to negative. 1 over 2 is the number. Its additive inverse, it will be negative 1 over 2. Okay? Okay. For example, 2 and 1 over 5, this is positive number. If I want to write the additive inverse, I will switch the sign. It will be negative 2 and 1 over 5. Look at this example. If I have absolute value of negative 3 over 4, I want to write its additive inverse. First of all, you must solve this absolute value. Negative 3 over 4 between absolute will be 3 over 4. Why? Because the absolute kill the negative. And then write the inverse number of 3 over 4. The additive inverse of 3 over 4 will be negative 3 over 4. Another example, if I have negative absolute negative 5 over 7. First of all, this is negative will be negative. Okay, the same. And negative 5 over 7 in the absolute will be 5 over 7. Now I have negative 5 over 7 and I want to write its additive inverse. It will be 5 over 7. I will write the same number and change the sign. The other example, 2 to the power 0. Any number raised to the power 0, it will be 1. Any number, this is rule. Any number raised to power 0 equal 1. And then the additive inverse of 1, it will be negative 1. If I have negative 2 to the power 3, by using calculator, the answer will be negative 8. And then the additive inverse of negative 8 will be 8. So, if I see like these examples, I should solve first. I should solve them first. And then, and then write the additive inverse for the answer. Okay? Negative 3 to the power 2, on the calculator, it will be 9. And then write the additive inverse of a 9. It will be negative 9. Tell me, what is the additive inverse of 0.5? Switch the sign. It will be negative 0.5. Now, to know the additive inverse property, if I add the number to its additive inverse, the answer will be 0. Look the difference between these two properties. The additive identity, the number should be added to 0. But in additive inverse, the number should be added to its inverse and the answer is 0. Okay. The last property is closure property. Closure property. The meaning of closure property related to the answer of the addition. If I have two rational numbers added to each other, for example, if I have half 1 over 2, this is a rational number. Added to another rational number, for example, 3 over 2, then the answer will be also a rational number. And this is the meaning of closure property. Let's see an example. State the name of property used. First one, 4 over 7 plus 0 equal 4 over 7. If I see the 0 added to any rational number, this means that this property is additive identity property. Why? Because I add 0 to the number. And if I add 0 to the number, the answer will be the same number. This is additive identity. The second one, negative 7 over 10 plus 7 over 10. Look, these numbers are additive inverse to each other. Negative 7 over 10 is additive inverse to 7 over 10. And the answer is 0. So, this property is additive inverse. Additive inverse. So, if the 0 is added to a number, the property is additive identity. If the 0 is the answer, this property is additive inverse. Number 3, 5 over 6 plus bracket negative 3 over 6 plus 1 over 6. If I see 3 rational numbers added to each other or more and I see this bracket, then the property is associative property. Associative property. Look, the last one. 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 equal 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2. I write 2 rational numbers added to each other and then I replace the places of each rational number. Then I change the places. This property is commutative property. This property is commutative property. Now, we will take the multiplying of a rational number. Look, How to multiply two rational numbers? If I want to multiply 2 over 5 times 4 over 3. If I want to multiply 2 over 5 times 4 over 3. I will use the calculator. How? I will multiply the numerators by each other. 2 times 4 will be 8. And then I will multiply the denominator by each other. 5 times 3 will be 15. Using calculator. And if the number needs to be simplified, the answer needs to be simplified, simplify it. The second one, multiply 3 over 7 times negative 4 over 7. Sorry, negative 4 over 5. Again, 3 over 7 times negative 4 over 5. I will multiply the numerator by each other. 3 times 4. 3 times 4 will be negative 12. And 7 times 5 will be 35. Okay, it doesn't need to be simplified. Number 3, negative 2 over 9 times negative 1 over 9. I will multiply the numerators. Negative 2 times negative 1 will be 2. And then 9 times 9 will be 81. But if I have mixed number times a proper fraction, okay, if I have a mixed number, I should write it on the calculator and convert it to be improper fraction. Okay, so 2 and 3 over 7 times 7 over 17. 2 and 3 over 7, to be improper fraction, it will be 17 over 7 times 7 over 17, the answer will be 1. Okay. The properties, or the most important properties of multiplication. You must know the multiplicative identity or neutral element. The question: complete. The multiplicative neutral element of a rational number is 1. This is very important. The multiplicative neutral element of a rational number is 1. Why? 1 is the mirror of multiplication. 1 is the mirror of multiplication. If I multiply 1 over 2 times 1, the answer will be 1 over 2. If I multiply negative 5 times 1, the answer will be negative 5. So the 1 is the multiplicative identity or multiplicative neutral element of a rational number. Okay. The second one is multiplicative inverse. What is the meaning of multiplicative inverse? To get the reciprocal of the number. To change the number upside down. To change the number upside down. So if I say 2 over 3, I should get the multiplicative inverse. I will change this rational number upside down. Upside down. It will be 3 over 2. And don't change the sign of the number. Don't change the sign of the number. Look, this table. 1. Its multiplicative inverse is 1. Negative 2. Negative 2 means negative 2 over 1. So if I want to find multiplicative inverse, I will change this number upside down. It will be negative 1 over 2. 2 and 1 over 2. 2 and a half. I should change this mixed number to be improper fraction. It will be 5 over 2. You can do this with calculator. And then change 5 over 2 upside down, or write its reciprocal, the meaning of reciprocal, to change the rational number or the fraction upside down. It will be 2 over 5. Negative 2 to the power 3. First of all, I said before, to solve this number on the calculator, it will be negative 8. And negative 8 means negative 8 over 1. To write its multiplicative inverse, change this number upside down. It will be negative 1 over 8. Negative 1 over 8. And don't change its sign. 0.5. 0.5 means 1 over 2. using calculator. 0.5 means 1 over 2. To write its multiplicative inverse, change this number upside down. It will be 2 over 1. That means 2. So I will repeat again. The rational number which has no multiplicative inverse. Let's think. What is the number that if I change it upside down, it will be meaningless? If I write 0, okay, 0 means 0 over 1. I want to write its multiplicative inverse. It will be 1 over 0. But 1 over 0, undefined. Or meaningless. Meaningless. So, it's very important. The rational number which has no multiplicative inverse is 1. The rational number which has no multiplicative inverse is 0. The rational number which has no multiplicative inverse is 0. And the multiplicative neutral element of a rational number is 1. And the additive neutral element of a rational number is 0. Okay, again. The rational number which has no multiplicative inverse is 0. Okay, it's clear? Okay. The third property is distributive property. Distributive property. What is the meaning of distributive property? To distribute the multiplication over the addition. How? If I have 1 over 2 times, open bracket, 2 over 5 plus 3 over 4. I should distribute 1 over 2 and the multiplication over this bracket. I will write 1 over 2 times 2 over 5. And then plus, again, 1 over 2 times 3 over 4. This is the meaning of distributive property. Okay? How can I use the property of distribution to find or to solve problems? Look at this example. Use the property of distribution to find the result. Use the property of distribution to find the result. Number 1, 4 over 9 times 11 plus 4 over 9 times 16. Look, first of all, what is the repeated number? Search for the repeated number and the multiplication sign. Look here, 4 over 9 is multiplied by 11. This is the first group. And 4 over 9 times 16. This is the second group. يبقى أنا بدور على repeated number والtimes في كل group من الجروبس. وبعد كده I will take 4 over 9 times 4 over 9 and the times sign as a common factor out. 4 over 9 times and then open bracket and write 11 and the plus and 16. This problem is expanded. This problem is expanded. I want to use the distribution property to solve this problem. You must look for or search the repeated number. First of all, 4 over 9 times 11, this is the first group, plus 4 over 9 times 16, this is the second group. So take the common number and the multiplication sign, 4 over 9 times, and then open bracket to write the remaining numbers. 11 plus 16. Add 11 plus 16, it will be 27. This is multiplied by 4 over 9. The answer using calculator will be 12. Example B. 5 over 12 times 3, this is the first group, plus 5 over 12 times 9, this is the second group. Okay? تمام. Now, I will take the common number. What is the common number? 5 over 12 times. I will take it out. And then write 3 plus 9. 3 plus 9 will be 12. Then 5 over 12 times 12, it will be 5. You can do these calculations by calculator. Look at this tricky example. If I have negative 3 over 7 times 8 plus 5 times negative 3 over 7 plus negative 3 over 7. I should find the groups between each plus sign. I should find the groups between them plus sign. Or I should find the groups between each two plus sign. Negative 3 over 7 times 8, this is the first group. And plus, the second group, 5 times negative 3 over 7. This is the second group. And then plus, negative 3 over 7 times. Negative 3 over 7 is alone. So, I should multiply this number by a number, and by a number can't change its value. So, I will multiply it by 1. Why 1, miss? Why you choose 1? Because the 1 is multiplicative identity. If I multiply 1 by negative 3 over 7, I will make a group. And 1 can't change the value of negative 3 over 7. So, the common now is negative 3 over 7. I will take it out and open bracket. The remaining number here is 8 plus the remaining number here is 5 plus the remaining number here is 1. And then add 1 plus 5 equals 6 plus 8 equals 14 times negative 3 over 7. It will be negative 6. Now we will talk about division in Q or division in rational number. Okay. I want to divide 1 over 2 by 3 over 4. I want to divide 1 over 2 by 3 over 4. The division sign doesn't like the fractions. So, what shall I do? I will write the first fraction. This is the very important step. You must write it, okay? This is very important step and you must write this step. You will write the first fraction, 1 over 2, and then change the division sign. Change the division sign. I will change the division sign to be a multiplication sign. The division will be multiplication. And the rational number or the fraction after the division sign will be changed upside down. I will write its reciprocal. Change it upside down. It will be 4 over 3. So, if I want to divide 1 over 2, divide 3 over 4. 1 over 2, divide 3 over 4. You will write the first fraction as it is. You will write the first fraction as it is. And change the division sign to be multiplication sign. And change the fraction after the division sign upside down. 4 over 3. And then multiply them by calculator. 1 times 4 equal 4 and 2 over 3 times 3 equals 6. By simplifying, it will be 2 over 3. Or multiply it by calculator directly. Look at this example. 1 and half, 1 and half, 1 and 1 over 2, divide 2 and 1 over 3. 1 and 1 over 2, divide 2 and 1 over 3. If I have mixed numbers, I should change them to be improper fractions. I should write them on the form of improper fractions. So 1 and half by using calculator, it will be 3 over 2. Divide 2 and 1 over 3 by using calculator, it will be 7 over 3. Now I should divide 3 over 2 by 7 over 3. What shall I do in division? Write the first fraction. Change the division sign to be multiplication sign. And change the fraction after the division sign upside down to write its reciprocal. 3 over 7. 7 over 3 بقت 3 over 7. عكستها أو شقلبتها. Change it upside down. And then multiply 3 times 3 will be 9. 2 times 7 will be 14. 9 over 14 doesn't need to be simplified. Let's see the last example. This is very important example. I have a numbers x negative 1 over 3. يعني إيه؟ يعني الx اسمه negative 1 over 3. y equal 3 over 4. يعني y اسمه 3 over 4. z equal negative 3. يعني z اسمها negative 3. The question. Find the value of the following. Find the value of the following. A, x, y, z. If I know the values of x, y, and z, I have the value of x negative 1 over 3. يعني الx الفاليو بتاعتها negative 1 over 3. الy الفاليو بتاعتها 3 over 4. الz الفاليو بتاعتها negative 3. طيب I want to find the value x, y, z. What is the meaning of x, y, z? It means x times y times z. x times y times z. So I will replace x. هشيل x واحط الفاليو بتاعتها اللي هي negative 1 over 3. I will replace then times or multiplied by y. هشيل الy واحط الفاليو بتاعتها 3 over 4 and then multiply by z. z. I will replace the z with its value negative 3.